What have we got here?
Good job.
This week on Kentucky Afield, some hook sets just mean more than others. And on a trip to Campbell County, we saw some that meant a whole lot. You don't want to miss this. Next. Limb lines can be one of the most productive and most fun ways to fill a freezer with fresh fish.
Hopefully they'll have catfish on them like that.
Then, we're taking a look at our most popular video on YouTube over the past 5 years, extracting venom from a king cobra. It's all next on Kentucky Afield.
Such a pretty fish.
Beautiful.
This pond is plumb loaded with frogs.
They're everywhere in here. Yeah, this is a good fish right here. Really good fish.
Come here, girl.
Hey, boy. That's a big rabbit.
Nice job. Yes! Yes! My first muskie.
Mercy, Leo.
Yeah, look at it. It's a keeper.
Here it goes. Boom!
Wow, that happened fast.
Hello, and welcome to Kentucky Afield. I'm your host, Chad Miles. Join us as we journey the Commonwealth in search of outdoor adventure. If you've ever taken someone out fishing for their very first time and seen the reaction on their face, that's a memory you'll never forget. And that is one of the things that makes this next piece so special.
This is the Handicapped Fishing Derby, Campbell County Game and Fish stocked fish for today's event. I believe this is the 43rd year, if I'm not mistaken.
To my knowledge, we've been involved in this event every one of those years. And speaking from experience, growing up out here, I've been involved in this every year, and it's been really just a joy to see this event happen every year, both from being a young child, just witnessing it, and then also being part of this organization to be able to host it. It means a lot. I can tell you it's probably one of the events that we look forward to the most. It's just a privilege to be involved in an event like this.
They've been catching a ton of fish today. I've been seeing catfish, trout, bluegill, so it's been a pretty neat event so far.
We'll have anywhere from 100 to 220 people, and it seems like we have just as many people out here helping those people fish as well.
What have we got here? Look at you. Did you catch both of those? What's your name?
Ashley.
Ashley? Those are beautiful.
We've done this for a long time. It's something really wonderful. It's a fishing derby, but it's also so many other things. This is a long-standing partnership with the sportsmen and the area Special Olympics, and also the Fish and Wildlife Department. We get great support from our conservation officers.
This gives us the opportunity to come in close contact with the public. A lot of times they don't see us, especially when you're working in a county that's 309 square miles. It's a great privilege to be here today. I mean, what other job can you come to and get to do this kind of public relations fishing? And I guess when you step back and you reflect on it, it's a real privilege to be able to do this.
We've been coming to this event for 5 years, supporting autism, and this is one of the events that they hold and sponsor. We enjoy it. It's a great event for the children, and that's why we're here, is for them.
Good job.
I think for a lot of these folks that are here today, it hits home with them. You know, they may know someone who's challenged or handicapped that needs help. To be able to fish or just to get outdoors is a big deal. So it's pretty impressive that you get this kind of turnout for something like this, and to team up with the 5th District Federation and the Division of Wildlife and all these folks, it's impressive what they can put on in a day's time.
It's the kind of thing that sportsmen and women want to do. It's a proactive thing. It's a way of reaching out to the public and sharing the blessings, the outdoor experience that we have with some folks that don't get to enjoy this all the time. So it's very, very special to us for that reason.
We embrace and encourage all of the outdoors activities, hunting and fishing. But a lot of hunting is done by yourself. You've got to stay quiet, whereas fishing, you can sit there and have a conversation with a family member or a friend, and you're creating memories for a lifetime.
This is a fishing event for sure, but once the fishing is over, that's just the beginning of a lot of things that happen here, a lot of great things. Once the participants come up, their fish are brought up here, and each participant has their fish weighed, and biggest fish, most unusual catch, and things like that, all the way down the line.
5 fish, 5 pounds, 10 ounces.
Fifth District is our biggest sponsor. They are the ones who help provide the money, but we have corporate sponsors such as this year we had Cincinnati Bell, who donated the money for our t-shirts.
Special Olympics is for life. So we usually start our kids at 8 years of age, but we have now started them down as young as 3, 4, 5-year-olds. We call it our young athletes group. And then they get to compete in events from 8 years of age on.
As soon as these fish are weighed, they then go to the fish cleaning station, and our club members clean all the fish for the participants, rinse them and package them so that they can be taken home for table fare. If folks elect not to have the table fare, their fish are donated and used at different club functions and things like that.
My family and I have come here for maybe 6 years or so. It's one of our favorite events that we do with my younger brother who has Down syndrome. He's 22, he absolutely loves this event. Every year we catch a few fish, and even if we don't catch a fish, he has so much fun that it is so worth it.
We have a great lunch. So I think today we fed about 130 people was my guess. Our cooks are all sportsmen and women, so we're real proud of that.
How are you? You want a hot dog? There you go. Thank you. Welcome.
We have a prize for the most caught, and we have a prize for the largest fish caught. And sometimes they match each other, so we are separating them so everyone gets a chance to win.
We've come up with different prizes every year. The kids are given trophies, fishing poles, tackle boxes, other kind of prizes are given out to each individual kid.
It's been real special, especially for my daughter. She caught her some fish and got as excited as a kid can get just about, and she just had a blast, and I believe all the kids have had a blast.
It's just a family event. The families come every year because they love being able to get out and be with their child. We had all the different fishing groups out here, and they just help our kids tremendously. They just make it a very special day.
We're just really proud to have this event every year, and it really enriches us. We get as much out of this as the participants do. It's just a great way to give back.
My family has decided that no matter what it takes, we're going to keep going until we can't go anymore. Every year we have things that are donated to us, and we have a raffle that raffle money will go into next year's funds. Just anything we can do to raise money to carry on. That's what we're going to do.
I'm here again with Lieutenant McQuarrie. How are you doing today?
Great. Good to see you once again, Chad.
You know, something that's gotten really popular for this time of year is jug fishing or noodle fishing. Now, noodle fishing is what?
Basically, you're either using a jug or a swim noodle that you've cut into small sections, and you're tying a line to it with a hook on the end and placing bait so you can hope to catch a fish.
Now, there's some things that you have to make sure and look out for when you're doing this, and that is you have to make sure that the body of water you're on is legal to do this, right?
Absolutely. Make sure you check regulations before you go fishing, and that the lake you're actually going to allows you to jug fish.
And secondly, there's a limit per boat, correct?
Correct. Sometimes it's confused that it's 50 per person, but it's actually 50 jugs or noodles per boat.
And this year, there's also a change. You've always had to put information on there, but this year, the information that you have to make sure is on that jug, attached to the jug or the line, is what?
It's your customer ID number that can be found at the very top of your 2019 license. And make sure when you put that number on your noodle or jug, you place it in a way that it will not wear off easy.
And anything else you need to think about when considering jug or noodle fishing?
Keep up with the number of jugs or noodles that you put out and make sure that you're checking them every 24 hours.
Okay, and that's good for the fish safety as well. And also, they can look pretty ratty out there on a lake. We want to make sure they're getting picked up and removed from the waterway.
You're exactly right, Chad.
Well, good luck. And noodle and jug fishing, it's a lot of fun and it can be extremely productive.
Absolutely.
Sometimes when you go back and try to relive childhood memories, they just don't match up. But sometimes they're even better than you remembered. Some of my familiar waters here on the Salt River. Unfortunately, there's no close bank access. This is the area where we usually catch our fish, but this is how you got to put a boat in. This is all old river cane. We just smash it down and back it on in. Getting it out, if it's wet, can be tricky. Come on back. Hold on.
You're going in. Hold on, Jared, hold on. All right, he's going swimming.
I always say some things don't always go as planned. Normally we just unhook it and manhandle it over the hill, but that's when we were in a boat that wasn't much bigger than a bathtub. Now, 16 foot with a 25 on the back, got away from me. This cane pole, believe it or not, is the exact same cane poles that we used to put out 20 years ago. And they're still pretty good. You'll notice that every one of them's tied off, double tied like this. This is done because sometimes when these things start getting a little older, they will break. We've drilled a hole and affixed this onto the secondary point. So we'll put a bait on there, get that thing right down to the water, and then we'll pick up slack to get the bait to where it's just barely hanging out. So Jared, run that there in that root wad as good as you can. Bingo, there you go.
And adjust that bad boy to where he's up here talking to him. Enough to keep him alive, about like that right there. That's a hog collar right there.
That's exactly what you want. You're allowed 25 limb or bank post sets per person, and it has to be checked every 24 hours. We're gonna do it quite more frequently than that. Every trip to the river is always an adventure, isn't it?
Always.
Nothing ever goes exactly as you planned. Sometimes it's better, but it's always an adventure. We had a little issue putting this boat in today. We went to put it in the water, and you know, there's no boat ramps in this area. The boat got away from us. It's a little bigger boat than we're used to running. But hey, that's part of the adventure, isn't it?
I enjoyed watching it.
I'm sure you did. Man, these catfish in this heat, they feed at night. So it's the reason we get out here and we try to do this. It was 95 degrees today, so it's a little hot to be out here in the middle of the day. So we'll get this set up, go get us a tent site. We may run them here in the middle of the night, and we'll definitely be here first thing in the morning. So I tell you what, a lot of memories have been made down here. There's 4 or 5 of us that used to do this every weekend night that the river would allow us. You even wrote a song. It meant that much to us.
Yeah.
I bet you still don't know that song, do you?
I might be able to remember a little bit of it. So,
let's hear it.
All right, we'll try. You gonna help me sing it?
if I can. Well, the wind is blowing in my mind. I'm going to a place far from here. Back to the old Salt River where I spent my younger years. With a catfish on a stringer and a There you go. Oh, wow. Got us a channel cat right off the bat.
Our little cane held on.
Now that is about perfect eating size right there.
Fiddler magic. Another limb shaker.
Limb shaker, baby!
All right.
We got a limb shaker. Looky there.
Get the grease hot. Look at that. Hook by a whisker. Literally.
When it comes to checking your lines, the shaking limbs are hard to beat for excitement.
Yeah.
Here we go. What do we got this time?
Another channel.
To my younger days. Got some bobbing going on here. No 20-year-old cane pole is holding in there. There you go.
What do you think, my friend? Limb shaker, boys.
Uh-oh, we got a limb shaker.
Chad, I don't know, in all honesty, if we've ever caught this many fish on the first run.
Hey, does this bring back some crazy memories? Seriously, I know we keep saying it, but the fact is, this is what it's all about. That's our littlest one of the night. Oh, fish on. Fish on there.
The old canes are breaking, but they're holding.
Salt River keep on flowing. Whoa, he
came alive.
Slapped it for us. Salt River keep on flowing.
There we go, limb shaker, boys. There we go. That's a big fish.
Big fish right there now. I don't know how that'd have to be to not get excited when I see that. Yeah, can we go back to our younger days? If this morning is anything at all like last night, we're in for a good morning. It's pretty exciting. So last night we put out 50 poles. Every single piece of bait was missing. I don't know how many we got. What's your best guess?
Say we've got about 20 so far, at least.
20. We're so excited we didn't get any sleep.
Sun's coming up, the birds are chirping.
I'm ready to get after them. Let's go see what we can't catch.
We got a big limb shaking, I got a limb right here shaking. Double limb shaker.
Double limb shaker, there you go.
Good way to start.
Our average size has been a little small, but perfect eating size. If you're doing this to go out and try to catch the biggest catfish of all time, limb line's probably not the way to go. That's gonna be a quicker pass today too, since we're not rebaiting. We're gonna go ahead and cut and pull all of our lines. Hopefully they'll have a catfish on them like that. I see another limb shaking from here.
Yep.
So what's this, our fourth one this morning already? Third, fourth?
Yep. Got us a little flathead.
And this is a really small flathead. Now these are great eating. Man, they get really, really big. It's a long-lived fish. We got a cooler full, so what do you think?
Let him loose.
We'll let that joker go. 20 years from now, you may come back and catch that joker. They live that long.
Might be a little more exciting next time.
There you go. So we're on the Salt River. Obviously, this is where we was raised. A lot of people don't realize the population of catfish in this river. They know that Taylorsville Lake's plumb full of catfish. This is the river that feeds it, and we're on the bottom side of the lake. You can catch blues, flatheads, and channel cats.
And it's loaded.
And it's plumb full of them.
Loaded with catfish. Catfish, Kentucky bass, smallmouth, crappie.
Yep.
When the sauger make the run, when the whites make the run. Chad, we need to do this more often.
We worked our butts off getting bait, haven't slept in 24 hours, and I'm not even that tired right now.
Yep. And we've got a double right here.
We got one on the limb and one on the log. When we first started doing this, we were probably 14, 15, 16, we got a car. We're looking in somewhere in the neighborhood of, scary to say, 28 years. And look how much life has changed. Boy, this river ain't, it's the same. This is exactly as I remember it. Old muddy salt river. Banks are always slick. The catfish are always biting.
For an old muddy river, not too shabby.
It's kind of nice to get back to things that don't change, you know? It's the perfect getaway every now and then. Didn't you have to leave our home county? And we got a meal. pretty awesome. Are you looking for something cool and interesting to do this summer? Think about going to Natural Bridge State Park, and while you're there, you gotta check out the Reptile Zoo. The main mission of the Kentucky Reptile Zoo is to extract venom for the production of anti-venom and also for medical research. Today, we're going to extract venom from a King Cobra.
All right, guys.
Oh, wow, this thing is strong.
Yeah. So what do you think about how strong he is?
It's amazing. I mean, this is one big muscle. So what we've got here is this King Cobra venom. How long will this venom stay potent in just normal air temperature?
Well, it actually can last a pretty long time. In order to preserve it as much as possible, we will freeze it here, and then we do what's called lyophilization, which is freeze drying. It's the same way they make Folgers crystals.
Okay, yeah.
But it doesn't look like coffee, obviously. But once it's done, it looks like yellow salt.
At that stage, you can safely ship it wherever it needs to go.
Because it's dry, it's a lot more safe and easy to deal with. So,
But this here, obviously, if you were to get this on your skin, it may not hurt you. But if you have an open wound, or if you touched it and then touched your eyes, or
right. Yeah, you would not want to touch your eye or mucous membrane if you had venom on your finger. But if you had an open wound, it would be the same as being envenomated by the snake.
So if you were going to take this and make an anti-venom, obviously you'd have to stay in the same species. But could you take 2 or 3 of the same type of snake and combine all that and create an antivenom? So,
yep.
Okay.
So when they make antivenom, they actually try to get a very large geographic representation of each species. Here in the U.S., you could use like timber rattlesnakes, which is the rattlesnake we have throughout much of Kentucky. If you're bitten in Kentucky, you want the antivenom to work as well for you as it does for someone who is bitten in Georgia. So the antivenom should be made from a wide range as possible.
So you want multiple snakes.
Right, right. Now, there's 2 kinds of antivenom in the world. There's polyvalents, which is what we have here, that are made from a representation of several species from an area. And they work on actually typically more species than they're made from. So if you're bitten by any pit viper in the United States, it is the same antivenom.
Gotcha.
So you don't really need to worry about what kind of snake it was. That's kind of a myth where people think, oh, I need to know what it was for sure. And you know, the doctors are going to ask you because they're curious. But you don't actually have to know. If you have systemic symptoms from a snake bite in the United States, you will get the same antivenom no matter what kind of snake it was.
So what can kill you actually can keep you alive.
That's right.
And for anyone who wants to come see this, you guys are open 7 days a week?
Between Memorial Day and Labor Day, we're open 7 days a week. And extraction is at 1 o'clock. We always recommend that people call ahead to make sure there will be a venom extraction that day. If Jim has to go out of town or is unhealthy, I don't volunteer to do the venom extraction. So if people want to be sure to see it, they can always call us the morning of. We'll be happy to tell them what's on the schedule that day.
Well, I've learned a lot about venom today. As much as the way I've wanted to learn about it with an expert just talking about it and not at a doctor's office.
Yes, no, that's not the way you want to find out about it. More than you wanted to know, probably.
Well, thanks a lot. I really appreciate
No
that.
problem.
Now let's check in and see who else has been out having fun in this week's Ones That Didn't Get Away. Here we have Danny Kyaton, who loves to hunt and fish, and here he is with a nice 4-point buck taken during the 2016 youth firearm season. This deer was taken with a .30-30 Winchester. Nice job. Here we have 15-year-old Molly Callahan from Burlington, Kentucky, who took this nice deer using a crossbow. She said her favorite way to eat it is her dad's jerky. Nice job. Benson Fulkerson knows how to spend a nice summer day. That's at Nolan Lake with a tube of crickets catching bluegill. Here's a nice fish he took recently. Congratulations. Here we have a nice bird that was taken by Chad Hunt of Bullitt County. This bird had a 10.5-inch beard. Nice job. Here's a really nice buck taken by 9-year-old Casey Rust. He took this in Campbell County in the 2017 Youth Deer Weekend. Congratulations. Check out this nice bluegill caught by Jackson Rader. This fish was caught in Bolts Lake in Grant County. Nice job. Here we have a nice largemouth bass that was caught by Thor while fishing with his pop. Congratulations. Here we have John David Heyman, who caught his very first fish ever, a nice bluegill, in a farm pond in Versailles. Nice job. Here we have Linnell Jackson, who caught this catfish while fishing at the Brickyard Pond in Barberville, Kentucky. Congratulations. The 4th of July is coming up this week. Make plans now to take someone fishing. And remember, hunting and fishing on private property is a privilege. Always ask permission and thank the landowner. Until next week, I'm your host, Chad Miles, and I hope to see you in the woods or on the water.